Okay, this is material of hortatory exposition. This material consists of meaning and purpose, generic structure, and language feature. For the first, in this section we'll explain about meaning and purpose of hortatory exposition. For the second section, talk about generic structure that use in hortatory exposition. For the third, this section in here will describe language feature use in the text. Let's go learn the material. We are going to learn about the meaning of hortatory exposition as the first material. This is for the meaning of hortatory exposition. Hortatory exposition text is a persuasive text which is compiled based on the opinion of the author. In the hortatory exposition explains the issue of something comprehensive. That's the meaning of hortatory exposition. Okay, for the next I will provide information about the purpose of hortatory exposition. You can write it down in your book so you don't forget the material. The purpose of hortatory exposition. The purpose of the text is to persuade the reader about the main focus of the conversation should or should not happen, so that the readers can be influenced to do or not do something based on the point of the discussion that discussed in the text. Let's move to other material. So in here explain about generic structure of hortatory exposition. Please pay attention to this material, because generic structure in this material, it's important for you to compiling the text of hortatory exposition. In the generic structure, the hortatory exposition consists of 4 parts that need to be considered in compiling the text. For the first is the title, and for the second is thesis. For the third is argument, and for the last is recommendation. This part is very influential when you want to try to compose a good hortatory exposition text. When you compose a hortatory text, try to always order it from the thesis to the recommendation, so that the text is sequenced and coherent. Let's find out more deeper about the title, thesis, argument, recommendation in the text hortatory exposition. For a more detailed explanation you can pay attention to this section. For the first is the title. The title must be related to the text when you compiling the hortatory exposition. For the next it's about thesis. Thesis is an introduction to the main idea of the author's results based on an event or problem being discussed. For the next it's about argument. In compiling a hortatory exposition text, it is usually composed of 1 or 2 or more arguments in the text. In argument, contains the arguments put forward by the author that are useful for convincing the reader so that the reader agrees with the point of view put forward by the author. For the last it's about recommendation. In this section contains recommendations, suggestions or a conclusion based on the author. The next we will learn more deeper about language feature of hortatory exposition. This is a language feature of hortatory exposition. When you write the text hortatory exposition we can use the simple present tense and abstract noun. You can see below for the example. For the next, when you write the text hortatory exposition we can use action verb and thinking verb. What is action verb? An action verb expresses something that a person, animal, or object can do. For the example watch, talk, explode, reach. For thinking verb is a verb related to thinking activities, and for the example they are think, worry, wonder, imagine. For the next language feature of hortatory exposition consists of temporal connective. What is the function of temporal connective? It has function to connect the writer opinion. For example, firstly, secondly, however, furthermore, therefore. And also hortatory exposition use evaluative words. For the example valuable, important, trustworthy, etc. For the last, hortatory exposition use passive voice in the text. For the example you can read it below.